This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming at you with another video. In this video, the topic is losses are learned lessons. And what this is saying and what this means is that you cannot, look at losses as a bad thing. Like it might feel bad emotionally, but what did you gain out of that loss? What is it that you will remember about that loss that's going to keep you on a path to where you're doing better, and it's going to be a reminder for you to be cautious of certain things and certain people in certain situations. Now, I look at the personal loss that I had a few years ago that was really, really big. And now I'm getting to the point to where, like, wow, it was a lesson that I had to learn. The hurt that I went through going through that lesson, it was unimaginable amount of pain, and it lasted for a long time, but I'm finally starting to heal from it just a little bit and not be angry at the people that did the things to me that they did or said the things, spread the rumors, ostracize me, cancel me. Like I had to accept it, and I had to accept the part that I played in it. And the past year, this past year, I really started hitting a positive stride, and I saw, wow, I made this much improvement, with this amount of time. Like, if I keep on the track that I'm on, I am going to be okay. I might not be super famous, super rich, have status or whatever that rich and famous people have a whole bunch of businesses, have a big, huge house. I might not have any of that stuff. But for me personally, I will be okay. Like I will be doing all right. And one thing that I had to learn is that taking an L can be devastating, especially if ostracism and negative social standing follows. And I had to go through that. And I understand how it is when not only are you going through a hard time and a hard period in your life, the people that you thought would have your back, they didn't. As a matter of fact, they want to get far away from you as possible because they think very low of you. And they always have thought low of you, but they hid it. But then you start understanding that actions speak louder than words. And this isn't just a cliche saying that I'm saying. It's not a cliche statement. This is something that's real. People can tell you whatever they want to tell you in order to get you to do what it is that they want you to do, but their actions speaks more about how they feel about you than what it is that they say out of their mouths. They can say, hey, I look at you as a great person, this type of person, that type of person, just pump you up with all this positive words that they have for you, make you feel better about yourself. But in the grand scheme of things, the way that they act towards you is that they look at you as like somebody that's supposed to be doing a lot for them, and that you should be thankful for doing a lot for them, even if it's detrimental to you. And people that think like this, some of them are so arrogant, some of them are so narcissistic that they think that the highlight of your life is being associated with them. Like, who you are as an individual, who you are as a person is unimportant and insignificant to the point to where you being attached to them means more for you than it does for anybody else in your personal life. And after they finish attaching themselves from you and they detach from you, then they look at you as like, oh, you're not doing that well without me, and that's as high as you're gonna go. And a lot of people think that way. And then I had to think about, have I been in that situation before where people thought that, hey, me being associated with them is like the highlight for me. Like, oh, I'm actually associated with this person and he's allowing himself to be around me. So that makes me look better. That makes me more accepted in society than me being alone. And once I saw that that's what how it was that I was looked at, and I wasn't looked at as an equal, I was looked at as the help, as they say, or the utility. And not only by those group of people, but by the majority of people in the neighborhood and in the society that I grew up in, the community that I grew up in. And I was like, wow, I'm not going along with this program. And then once I got disregarded and discounted and counted out, I had to face that reality that, man, they don't think that I'm ever going to be anything other than where I'm at. And then I had to look at what I went through the past 3 years, because 3 years ago, I could barely walk. Not only was I broke, but I was broke and in debt. I had a woman who wasn't taking no for an answer when she wanted to initiate a relationship with me, and I didn't want to initiate a relationship with her. Her friends and everybody that they could gather around to socially isolate me, that happened because they were like, we gonna make it extremely hard for him to be able to move forward unless he goes this route that she wants him to go into. And she wants him to be this cleanup man in her life. And we all think that that's what is best for him. It doesn't matter what he wants. This is what we chose for him to do. And so he's going to do it. And going through that and understanding that I had to accept that that's how I was looked at. And I had to get out of the fairy tale that I could work my way out of being treated with respect. You know, that people would treat me with respect if I work hard and I treat everybody cordial and nice and did a lot for the community, that I would gain respect that way. And I realized that that wasn't the way I was going to gain respect. The only way I was going to gain respect was by valuing my money, my time, my attention, and my energy. And me giving all of my money, energy, attention, and time to other people freely, it wasn't showing that I valued that. As a matter of fact, it showed that I didn't value myself, that I didn't respect myself, and I didn't love myself. And so, since I didn't value myself, why would anybody value me? You see what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not going to the gym, if I'm allowing myself to eat just hard, like junk food and everything like that, how, like, and I'm expecting, to be able to find somebody that's attractive while I'm allowing myself to just go and just not do what I need to do in order to maintain my physical capabilities, it's not going to work out in my favor. And at the same time, I understand that I could work out hard each and every day. I can get muscles, I can get in shape. But some people don't care if I'm looking at the best that I possibly can look. They still don't like me. And that's okay because they have the right to feel that way. But at the end of the day, it's about how I feel about myself. If I'm not valued in the community, even though I'm putting value upon myself, that means that I don't belong to that community. I don't belong to those people. And that I need to move around to find the people that I do belong to. And that's logical. And I understand that there's individuals out there that don't want to see men like me move around because I'm supposed to be the man cleaning up the trash that's going on in the community. I'm supposed to be the stepdaddy to these wayward children who don't even respect or want to listen to me. I'm supposed to be somebody that freely give their resources to women that he don't want to be with because, oh, this is all that he can get, so he has to deal with it. And I'm saying, no, I don't have to deal with it. I can travel. And you could call me whatever name it is in the book that you want to call me, but I'm still going to do things the way that I see fit for myself. You see, it can be hard to deal with that. It can be hard to deal with understanding that no matter what you do, you're going to be seen as being negative. No matter how you act, you're going to be seen as being negative. As a matter of fact, because you are not doing what it is that they want you to do, they're going to try to make your life as miserable as possible. They're going to try to block doors for you. They're going to try to stop money flow for you because they don't want to see you successful. They want to see you in the same state that you're in. But you have to fight to get out of that situation. You see? And at the same time, when you're losing, you have to understand you have to keep a positive attitude. Even when you're seeing other people succeed and you understand that they may have an equal or worse character development than you do, but you see them shoot past you, skyrocket past you because they hold a certain image or they have a certain way that they can articulate themselves that have them being seen as being very charismatic. You see, I know a person who I went to college with that owns a nationally syndicated newspaper and is very popular online. And he's rolling in the money now. He's doing real good in life. I know a guy who I was in the Navy with who's a mayor of a city. You see, I may never reach the heights that those two gentlemen that I've just made examples out of. But at the same time, I can't compare my life to theirs because who knows how much criticism and scrutiny they have to deal with, how much rejection they have to deal with. Yeah, they might have a lot of popularity, they might have a lot of money, might have a lot of status, but it's a price to pay when you get to that point. And I remember when I was younger, I used to want to be rich and famous. But that was way before I knew the price that people that get to that level have to pay. And I'm not even talking about the secret rituals and everything that everybody is talking about online. I'm talking about their names and their reputations being dragged in the mud through media. You know, we seen the tabloids back in the 80s and 90s with like the National Enquirer and the Globe and things of that nature. And now you have gossip blogs and YouTube channels that gossip about celebrities. And this is to help those that's living miserable lives feel just a little bit better about themselves. You see, and if a person that's on a level as me that gets singled out to get trashed by everybody, you know, they looking at it like, oh, that's just a minor thing. You know, nobody really cares about that. But they don't understand that it's a lot of, you know, pride and a lot of things that a person has to deal with. And I had to deal with that with myself. Like I had to deal with my personal pride and I had to put it away. And I had to make sense of what was going on in my life and make decisions that best fit me, regardless of what anybody had to say. And it was tough to deal with that. It was real tough to deal with that because in my mind, I was like, I should be able to handle this on my own. And it was times where I couldn't handle it on my own. And I needed help. And nobody was willing to help me except for a few handful of people. There are people that said that they was going to help me and I've helped them. But when it was time for me to get some help in return, they was nowhere to be found. And then on top of that, while I was going through my trials and tribulations trying to get myself back in order, there were people that I was helping. And it was a certain guy that lived in the South Shore community on the south side of Chicago. He lived a couple of buildings down from where I was living at. He was morbidly obese, but he saw that I was working out, that I was getting myself in shape. He saw that I was going out walking because I had to get my walking back to where it was normal. And he saw me losing weight, and then he was like, "Hey, why don't you show me what you do?" I started showing him what I did. And I'm not saying that this is when me and him start being cool, but I'm saying I started spending time with him. I started showing him things. I started being honest with him. And in return, this same guy tried to put my name into some BS. And I had to separate myself from him because I honestly wanted to whoop his ass. But I knew that if I did that, it wasn't going to solve the issue. It was just going to add on to the the the, the to the image that was painted about me by other people that were higher on a social platform than me, and they had me looking like I was just this crazy nutcase. And I went through that, and it showed me that, man, like, it's treacherous out here, and I have to be honest with myself. What is it about me that make me a target for these type of people? And it was tough to deal with because I had to be honest with myself. And it hurt my feelings, but hey, I needed my feelings to be hurt in order to move forward in my life. And now I'm at the point where I'm doing better in my life than I ever have been doing previously. Like, I have money coming in by more than one stream of income. I'm able to save. I got myself out of debt. I'm driving. I have a place to stay. I have food, clothing, and shelter. You see, the people that stuck with me through all this stuff, those are the people that needed to stick with me through the bad times that I went through. And I appreciate them. And the people that left my life due to me going through these times, I'm not angry with them anymore. Finally, it took me a long time to get to that point, but I had to get over the embarrassment and the humiliation of being singled out to be canceled and ostracized, what that did to me. But it happened. And there's nothing that I could do to change that. And there's more important things in the world that's going on besides what's going on with me personally. And it was hard for me to fully accept that and learn how to deal with it and let it go. But hey, I'm here at this point, and I needed to be away from those people. I realized that they wasn't the people for me. As a matter of fact, I probably never will see some of those people ever again. If I do see them, it's going to be because the Most High God wants me to see them. But other than that, I don't ever plan on seeing most of those people ever again for the rest of my life. Like, they're out of my life completely and totally. I'm protected from them. I'm shielded from them. And if I see them again, I would be cordial. I'll be cordial. I act like everything is all good for that moment. But then once I get out of they vicinity, I still won't have anything to do with them. I'm not going to allow myself to go to high school reunions anymore. Like, I'm done with that phase of my life. Like, the people from back then, they think how they think about me, and it's mostly not good, and I've accepted that. So why would I be around a bunch of individuals that think poorly of me? If I join any groups or organizations, why would I allow myself to go around those same group of organizations of people that already showed that they don't care about me and that they don't think highly of me? Why would I allow myself to go back to a church that lied, that pilfered money off of me? that did a lot of things to make me feel like I was less than. And because I was out here trying to search for who it is that I am as a person individually, they looked at me like something was wrong with me. This is what I went through. And I had to learn my lesson. I had to learn that I had to value myself. I had to value my mind. I had to value my time. And I know that I still have to take risks in life. Now, I don't want to talk about my personal life too much, but I have a situation that's going on, and I'm just playing it out to see how it go. If it goes well, that's great. If it doesn't, oh well, I'll have to move forward. I'm trying to get myself to a point to where financially I'm so good that if I do go out with a woman and I spend about $100 and she doesn't feel me after that date, I can just cut her off and not feel any type of way about it. Just be like, oh well, it just happened. Like it isn't that big of a deal anymore. Maybe I need to work on my money so my money is right to that point, to where I like $100 isn't that big of a deal to me anymore. I need to learn how to be by myself and not be around a lot of people and to be okay with that. And if I know a party is going on and I'm not invited, just be okay with that. Be okay with being by myself. And then also understanding that even if I am invited to parties, I have the right to accept or reject going. And when I feel like it's time for me to leave a situation or an area because it's uncomfortable, I'm going to do that. Like this process that I went through of going through losses, it helped me understand that I had to value my autonomy and I had to be responsible with it. And if I don't be responsible with it or value it, it's going to be terrible for me. And then I have to value other people's time and energy and money and attention. And if somebody don't want to, like speak a word to me or be cordial to me, even if I'm being cordial to them, so be it. Leave them where they are. That's where I'm at in my life personally. And then I think about that I have to count my blessings. Every day I have to count my blessings. I have to be okay with where I'm at. I have to come up with reasons to why I should be happy with being alive. Like I know so many people, and I'm 41 years old. I know a lot of people that didn't get to make it to my age. I knew some from back in high school. I knew some from when I was in the military, and I knew some from that were family. Like I had an uncle that didn't get to see the age of 41. My little brother didn't get to see this age. It was a couple of people that I knew from back in high school that were on football teams that didn't get to see this age that I'm in. And both of the guys were in way better shape, muscular wise, than how I look now. But I'm alive. And that's not to brag or anything like that, but that's just to show how valuable life is. And if you don't value your time, you're going to be around people that's going to waste your time. And a lot of these people want to waste your time because they need you to do stuff for them so they don't have to do it, so they don't waste their time. They preserve their time off of your dime. Now that I've gotten to this understanding and I learned my lesson, I'm going to do better in the future. I don't care what anybody thinks at this point. And the reason being why I don't care is because they don't care about me personally. They only care about whether or not they can control my every move. And it was a painful lesson for me to go through. I had people that I thought was my friends that lied on me, that tried to make my life miserable just to prove a point. And the point that you made was that you made me see how things really are. You really helped me, even though it was meant to hurt me. And at the end of the day, I'm still alive and I'm still thriving. And maybe it was the kick in the ass that I needed in order to get to this point. So you helped me more than you hurt me. And that's okay. Because maybe I needed to go through that hurt and get my life together, get my situation together, change the way that I act and behave and treated other people. Yeah, it made me a little bit more harsh than what I was previously, but at the same time, and I'm thankful for that. It made me a lot more wise and it made me a lot more humble, and I'm thankful for that. And with that being said, this is just Bob Bowman. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.